1 year since a tornado tore North St. Louis apart, and tonight, people across our area are teaming up to put it back together. Thanks so much for joining us at 6. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Ann Allred, live in North St. Louis, in front of homes still crushed and uninhabitable. And then behind our camera is the Urban League of St. Louis. Tonight, there is still so much work to be done in the tornado zone. And today, 5 on Your Side and the Urban League teamed up for a telethon. This was just hours ago, and so far we've raised $485,000 for recovery efforts. You can still give all weekend. Please help. There is no donation too small. Text the word donate to 314-425-5355. You can see that in the bottom right corner of your screen. And thank you to everyone who has already donated. Also tonight, the National Weather Service released new details today on the May 16th tornado outbreak, confirming 2 tornadoes touched down in the St. Louis area. The first formed around 2:39 p.m. It was east of I-170 near Forest Park Parkway. It had winds between 65 and 85 miles per hour. It intensified north of Forest Park, reaching peak winds of 152 miles per hour. It grew to nearly 2 miles wide. The second tornado touched down at 2:50 p.m. in Granite City near Niedring House Road. Winds between 86 and 110 miles per hour. That dissipated near Southern Illinois University. So many people are still struggling, and there are still so many stories to tell. So many people that are still not back in their homes. We have team coverage tonight. We begin with meteorologist Tracy Henson, who spent the day with volunteers taking part in the Urban League's Weekend of Service. Tracy.
And I'm just on the back alleyway of Walton Avenue, and behind me is a large pile of brush that volunteers worked very hard on from 8 this morning to 3 this afternoon. And while it's quiet here now, it certainly wasn't earlier today. The work was part of the Urban League's Weekend of Service. We followed 30 or so volunteers from Job Corps and St. Louis general contractor SM Wilson. They chainsawed through downed tree limbs, raked up leaf litter, and carried away housing debris left over by the May 16th tornado. Carnell Owsley is a volunteer with Job Corps St. Louis. Today wasn't the first time he donated time to work on Walton Avenue.
When it did happen, I was out here for like a week or 2 straight helping out. So the fact that I'm coming back a year later and it seemed like it's almost like nothing changes, it's kind of crazy.
Tomorrow, the Urban League will host a drive-through giveaway for families in need. And then on Sunday, they'll be asking volunteers to deliver home goods to seniors and people with disabilities. They are looking for volunteers tonight. If you have the time, you can go to the Urban League's website, scroll down to the bottom, and click on Volunteer. For now, in North St. Louis, I'm Tracy Henson, 5 on Your Side.
Tracy, thank you. The struggle to survive, it's still a daily reality for so many whose lives were shattered, their homes were crumbled here in North St. Louis. They have food drives here at the Urban League, and their cars extend for miles and miles. Still, they're having one tomorrow. Tonight, 5 on Your Side's Melanie Johnson's live in Fountain Park, where so much was destroyed in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, the chaos still very visible here in Fountain Park, and behind me you can see the bricks that were thrown from the buildings in North St. Louis. For our neighbors here, the devastation is not just property, it's personal.
I wake up every day and see the tornado. You know, I'm a victim.
Every time Troy Spencer opens the door to his North City home,
Here's my house.
he steps right back into the storm. No lights, holes in the ceiling, and no kitchen. Spencer hasn't been able to cook a hot meal since May 16th, 2025.
Man, I can't have a dinner like everybody else on Sunday.
The day a tornado ripped through St. Louis and ruined his neighborhood of 64 years, Fountain Park.
When the tornado peeled the roof off, the water rained inside my house for like 2 months, pouring down before I could even get a roof.
The last person still living inside this abandoned 2-flat, sleeping on an air mattress and living out of trash bags.
And a lot of people don't care too much for the city, for the North St. Louis, but they care for all the other sides.
He wakes up every morning to an unfinished contractor nightmare. Piles of drywall collecting dust and exposed bones of his home are all that's left.
We need help. No, I've been saying that since May 17th of last year.
Spencer praying someone will finally hear these cries that have gone unanswered for an entire year.
If I just see a better tomorrow, it'd be nice.
Hope and help, they are coming to Fountain Park on Saturday. While we've been standing here, we've been seeing people go door to door, passing out flyers about 314 Oasis. They're having a Remembrance Day on Saturday tomorrow in Fountain Park and also in O'Fallon Park with a 2:39 p.m. remembrance moment of silence for the day that changed St. Louis forever. Live in North City, Melanie Johnson, 5 on your side.
Melanie, thank you. The city's $230 million Rams settlement spending plan triggered a protest outside City Hall today. Roughly 200 demonstrators demanding more for the tornado zone were there. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, has been there all day. Mark.
Yeah, Ann, and this is part of the reason. Mother Nature's wrecking balls started a demolition job that government hasn't been able to finish a year later. Today, that conversation started about sending more money to North St. Louis from that Rams settlement fund. But what stands out most is who some of the most vocal aldermen and activists are, people from South City who would stand to get a lot less. The bill on the table would divide $230 million in Rams money 6 ways. The biggest share, $110 million, would go to North St. Louis.
Joplin had a larger response than what we've seen here in the city of St. Louis, and it's very frustrating, the lack of response and support that we've had from the federal and state.
Alderman Shane Cohn represents a South City ward. So does Alderwoman Alicia Sagne, who had a pointed message aimed not just at City Hall, but at Jefferson City and Washington, too.
The state has over $100 million that they still hasn't released, that we still don't have access to, that FEMA is actively being dismantled. That should be a part of the conversation, but none of that should constitute the city getting a pass.
Kayla Reed lives in South City. She spent the last year organizing the People's Response, the grassroots network that fed, cleaned, and sheltered survivors, filling gaps she says the government left exposed. She argues City Hall should send $150 million to North City.
When something's on fire and something is not, where do you put the water? And North City is on fire.
Henry Sims Jr. has lived near the tornado corridor his whole life. I asked him what he wants his neighbors in South City to understand.
They say, oh, we need this, we need that. This is almost a whole community gone. Greaterville is almost gone.
But Sims says money alone won't fix it. He wants government to use the tools it already has.
You're not utilizing what you got. How can you sit there and send me a letter? You got time to write me a letter telling me that my grass gets 7 inches tall. But you go down and look at all city property, grass is way up here.
And scenes of neglect like this litter all over in the tornado path in North City. I'd call them scars, but a year later, people in this neighborhood tell me they're more like an ongoing open wound. And late tonight, word that the federal government may still have more to give. U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt's office sending out a press release saying he's been in constant contact with the Trump administration and Mayor Spencer about unlocking some federal HUD disaster funds that help do the permanent work to bring this back, holding out hope that maybe the federal government has more to give North St. Louis and the tornado zone here. In the Greaterville neighborhood, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
Our coverage continues on our streaming app, including Rebuilding St. Louis, historic May 16th tornado anniversary special. It's free, easy to download. Search KSDK on your smart TV or streaming device. That's all from here in North St. Louis. Back to Kelly in the studio.
All right, thank you, Ann. Still so many more stories to tell.